Contributor Derrick Riches from About.com. Derrick, welcome back. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing, Greg?
Oh, not bad at all. Just first thing on the agenda tonight is, of course, Weber makes a superior kettle charcoal grill, if you will, been around for any number of years, and they're getting ready, or they have just started to introduce this 22.5-inch platinum charcoal grill. So for the people that actually haven't gone on Google and seen what it looks like, whatever, paint a picture, if you will, of what we're looking at here.
Well, basically what they've done is they've modified the cart. So you have two wheels, two peg legs, so you've got a more stable cart, and then they've attached two side tables onto it. I mean, that's been one of the complaints with the kettles is you can't put a plate down anywhere unless you've got your own table somewhere. Then it also features a roll-top lid, so you just lift the lid and it slides back into this cart structure.
Kind of has, I guess, what is tantamount to a Weber Performer type feel to it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it has a lot of the features to that. What it doesn't have is the gas assist ignition that the Performer has, and the Performer does have a larger table space.
What's the price tag between the two?
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of the issue here. This Platinum is going to run you about $300. The Performer is going to run you about $350. So, I mean, if you're into that price range now, I would really recommend just going the extra $50 and getting the Performer.
Any reason why, or that you've heard of, why Weber would have gone ahead and put two grills that are almost similar as far as design and what they're offering, aside from a few creature comforts, with a $50 price difference between the two?
Yeah, I couldn't really get a straight answer out of them. I think that, the issue really is the fact that for the past year, they did not have a vice president of product development. So they really didn't come out with a lot new this year.
We're talking with Derrick Riches. You can find him at bbq.about.com if you want to check him out on his blog. One of the other items that we can talk about, and it kind of transitions nicely after talking about the 22.5-inch Weber kettle, is these cast iron cooking grates that are made. I guess it might be actually geared towards the Weber kettle grills, both 22.5-inch and 18-inch models, but perhaps if your particular non-Weber grill is in similar construction, they might retro to yours, made by Cast Iron Grate. What can you tell us about these?
Well, this actually came out of Europe out the middle of last year, and it definitely is for the Weber kettles. It's an exact fit, and of course, the Weber kettles are the most popular charcoal grills in the world, so there's a huge market for this. What they basically decided was, one of the complaints that people have about the Weber kettles is that the cooking grates are, they're chrome plated, they're a little lightweight, they wear out over time. So, if you're willing to spend the money, you can get this cast iron grate system, which gives you some versatility. Really kind of steps up the performance a little bit. It's a cast iron ring with bars that run through the middle, so you can remove these sectional pieces. So you can actually, if you need to get to your fire, you can lift out one of the grate sections. Plus, they have, additional accessories like a hot plate griddle that can fit into one of these sections. They also have a pizza stone, and they even have a rack for putting a beer can chicken in.
What kind of an investment are you looking at just for the initial grill grate itself?
Well, if you were going to buy the grate system for the 22.5, you're looking at about $85. Then the accessories are going to be more. I mean, like the hot plate piece for that's another $30. So it's not an inexpensive investment, but it's heavy duty cast iron. It's well constructed. If you take care of it, you'll be replacing the kettle and not the grates.
We're talking with Derrick Riches from About.com, their barbecue and grilling guru. Now, I don't want to sound like a poo-poo on this whole cast iron thing. I mean, I'm not necessarily a huge fan on raw cast iron itself, because especially in certain environments, if it gets wet, if you're not paying very close attention to how you take care of it, every time you use it, it's going to rust. And it seems like once it starts to rust, it is very hard to get back on top of, and it kind of spreads like the plague. So if you're going to make that investment of $86, you want to make sure you're taking care of it very properly in order for it to have its longevity. But on top of that, it seems like the add-on pieces aren't necessarily that inexpensive either. I mean, you're looking at $30 for the griddle hot plate, or $30 for the pizza stone, another $30 for the chicken seat, and those are just for the triangular pieces themselves. I mean, if you want to outfit your whole grill like that, you're looking at some pretty serious dollars.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean it's an investment, and I would only really recommend it for someone that's really used to working with cast iron, that has cast iron cookware and knows what they're doing with it. If you're not going to take care of it, it is a complete waste of money. At this point, they're just an online thing. I don't know what kind of distribution they're going to be getting from it in the future.
Do you know how well they're being received? Have you gotten any feedback from the company as far as how popular they are here in the States?
No, I don't. I don't know what kind of sales they've had here. It's been kind of a slow introduction. I know a few people who've had them. I've got a set. I think they work really well. The people who have them seem to really like them.
The last item that we wanted to talk about tonight, and really seemed to hit huge there on my Facebook page when I posted about it last night, was the fact that in our correspondence about some items that we wanted to talk about this week or this month, was the fact that Kingsford Charcoal has reduced the weight of their briquettes by 7%, but promising the same performance. So what you're saying is they're taking each individual briquette and reducing the individual's weight by 7%?
Yeah, it's actually about 7.5%, I think, is the actual math on it. Each briquette will, in fact, be 7.5% lighter, and each bag of charcoal will contain the same number of briquettes.
So what type of a weight are we going from, the existing bags to what are they going to be now with the lighter weights, do you know?
Well, if you're talking about the big blue bag, the 18-pound bag, it's now about 16.5 pounds.
So a fairly substantial difference. Have you been able to test this charcoal out?
I've tried it out a little bit. I've had a small amount to play with, and I don't see a big performance difference. But once it really gets out there and people start playing with it, I think that's when we're really going to hear whether or not it holds up to their promise or not.
And has it been clearly labeled on the bag that you're getting less weight but the same performance, or has there been some type of marketing campaign that's been rolled out to say we've taken 7% of the weight out, but you're going to love it anyway?
Well, they've brought in a lot of people and they've done quite a bit of marketing. I think what they're trying to do is, they did this about 3 years ago, when they reduced the 22-pound bag to an 18-pound bag.
Right.
And, they really didn't advertise it. And there was kind of a big outcry as to what was going on. So this time they've tried to kind of hit a lot of people and say, hey, it's not really going to be any different. It's just going to be a lighter weight.
It seemed that the overwhelming response on my Facebook page was if they're taking 7% of the crap that's already in there out, then everybody seemed to be okay with that. But is it completely across all product lines? Are the competition briquettes going to be lighter and the blue bag's going to be lighter and the stuff that's infused with the wood, all that's going to be lighter across the board?
Yeah, all Kingsford briquettes are made off of the same press, so they will all be the new shape. Basically, if you look at a Kingsford briquette, there's a K on one side and then there's two little grooves on the back.
Right.
They're angling those grooves. They're now diagonal grooves, so they cut through a larger space of the briquette. That's where the reduction is. But all briquettes will be affected by this.
All right, so we'll certainly keep our eye on the forums and through various feedback outlets to see how this charcoal is going to be performing. Is there a price difference for this? Are we getting to have to pay less because we're getting less weight?
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? No, there's not going to be a price difference. And as far as what they're taking out, mostly what they're removing is the anthracite.
Okay, so
that's the actual coal, right, not the wood product.
The main heat source, at least for the blue bag, that they've been said. And one of the scientists that I had on last year said that the anthracite was the blue bag's major heat source. So I guess taking that out probably isn't too bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking out a non-renewable energy resource, and something. I mean, do you really want to cook on coal?
No, not me. But hey, what can I tell you? That's just me. So we're talking with Derrick Riches. Again, you can find him at bbq.about.com. Derrick, I always appreciate you coming on every month and sharing all the insight about what's cool and happening cutting edge on the barbecue and grilling world. And let's do it again next month.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you, Greg.
All right, take care, Derrick. There he is, Derrick Riches. Again, his website, bbq.about.com. Interested to see how that whole Kingsford deal works out.